welcome back to another episode of On the Hunt with Mr. Mysteries in Black and White with you two hosts, Josh and Ed.
Hello.
Fuck, now I need a question, don't I? Ed, come on. Give me something. What's your favourite spider?
Ooh. Have we got a spider?
Just saw the web.
I'd say my favourite is probably Goliath tarantula.
Yeah.
Goliath bird eater. Or the Sri Lankan ornamental tarantula, because they're stunning colours.
Is that purple and yellow?
Yeah,
they're
stunning colours. I would ask you, but I know you're definitely terrified.
None of them. A money spider.
I was waiting for you to say a dead one.
Well, them too, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you seen the trailer for that new film coming out called Sting?
Yeah.
That looks sick. Because it whistles back, doesn't it?
Nope. I mean, I'll watch it, but...
Oh, yeah, I'm going to watch it. It looks really good. I love that kind of film.
Yeah. But, no, God, it's been a while since... it's been a while since we've done anything, but On the Hunt especially.
Yeah. I love On the Hunt.
Yeah.
Because it seems it's a bit more bare bone. It's
a
bit more, raw.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel more relaxed on the Hunt.
Yeah. But, no, obviously, you all know how it works. If you don't, basically, Ed will cover a topic, I'll cover a topic. Sort of, basically, a shortened version of the podcast and stuff that we want to talk about, but sometimes it's based around current events that are occurring, or sometimes just something that we're interested in.
Yeah,
so
we try and keep it to the parameters of the pod, of the topic stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah,
who wants to go first?
Well, you better, because I've got to use your phone.
That is true. So, obviously, this past week we've released an episode about the missing Malaysian airline flight, which it was one of them events where everyone was interested in. I wouldn't say it's one similar to this, but people were definitely constantly talking about it or very interested in it.
People constantly just talking about it. I'm just picturing me with my old man or something. Still haven't found that plane then, have they?
No, look, catching that plane then.
Yeah, them planes then. It's just one plane, actually.
So, sort of going on that, I found a thing on Watch Mojo. Shout out Watch Mojo.
Oh, I love a bit of Watch Mojo.
Top 30 moments that made the world stand still. Now, I'm going to skip number 30 because it's very personal. Very personal. Well, not personal to us, but it's raw at the minute. So I'm going to skip number 30. If you want to know, look up Watch Mojo and you'll know exactly what it is. But number 29, we have the... Oh, for fuck's sake. Tiananmen Square Protest and Massacre, which happened in 1989. In China, references to this event, also known as the June 4th incident, are heavily censored. In spring of 1989, the student-led demonstrations were held in the Tiananmen Square, Beijing, calling for democracy and greater civil liberties. The protests spread to hundreds of cities, with workers joining them, angry over inflation, corruption, and the erosion of welfare. Declaring martial law, the government sent soldiers and tanks into the square. The death toll is disputed, ranging from hundreds to thousands.
Is that the one? It's a very famous video. It's he's standing there with two shopping bags. Do you know which one I mean? He stands in front of that tank.
No, I ain't seen that.
It's very famous. I remember I first saw that. It was on a Bon Jovi music video.
Oh, right.
And yeah, he stands there and it's a fucking big tank coming towards him, and every time the tank tries to go past him, he moves and he puts his head right in front of the gun.
Fucking hell, fair play.
And I think he ends up getting on it, and then they take him away. I think, but yeah, he had some bollocks doing that. I think it was that anyway.
Oh, funny you should say that. At least the photo of an unknown man facing off against a column of the tanks has become the endearing symbol of the event. Public displays of mourning for the victims are banned, although commemorations still sometimes reportedly occur in secret. Number 28, we have the Deepwater Horizon oil spill.
Good film.
Very good film. Also known as the BP oil spill, this unfortunately wasn't the first industrial disaster to devastate our marine habitats, but it remains the largest on record. It began on April 20th due to an explosion on the Deepwater Horizon oil platform.
We went to see that.
In cinema, yeah.
Yeah.
The fallout from this disaster resulted in 205 million gallons of oil discharged into the Gulf of Mexico, and effects were still being felt years after the initial disaster. In fact, reports from 2012 stated that the oil refineries from Deepwater Horizon were still leaking despite an official statement from 2010 that claimed that the well was sealed. 27, we have the Oklahoma bombing. This domestic terrorist attack shocked the nation. On April 19th, 1995, anti-government white supremacists Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols detonated a truck full of explosives in front of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City. The explosion killed 168 people and injured 680 others. The Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building was left in ruins, and the force of the blast damaged cars and buildings over a dozen blocks away. McVeigh and Nichols had sought to spark a revolution. To this day, it is the deadliest act of terrorism in the U.S. state's history. Deadliest act of domestic terrorism in United States history. Number 25, which I do remember, was the November 2015 Paris attacks. And I remember this clear as day because we was in the pub at the time.
Yes, we was. We was in
remember,
Spoons.
yeah, and there was like, you could just constantly see the news reports. I was like, what the fuck? And I just remember going on Facebook and seeing pray for Paris, pray. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And then when we found out, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was a football game, wasn't it?
Yeah. In January 2015, France was left reeling from an Islamic terrorist attack on satirical magazine Charlie... What? Terrorist attack on satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo, in which 12 staff were killed. Several other smaller attacks occurred throughout the year. On November 13, these culminated in by far the deadliest. That night, in a series of coordinated attacks, terrorists detonated explosive vests and opened fire in streets and public venues in Paris. 3 gunmen stormed a concert at the Bataclan Theatre, killing 90 people. In all, 130 lives were taken. These attacks sent shockwaves not only throughout France, but also reverberated around the world. Number 24, we have the assassination of John Lennon. It's safe to say that John Lennon is one of the most influential singer-songwriters of all time. Even after leaving the Beatles in 1969, he enjoyed enormous popularity and success. He also became well known for his activism. However, on 8th of December 1980, obsessive fan Mark David Chapman fatally shot him outside the Dakota Apartments in New York City. When news broke on ABC's Monday Night Football, fans were shocked and horrified. For many, the world seemed to stop turning. Around the globe, fans were united in mourning the man whose music meant so much to so many. Number 23, we have Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
The Category 5...
Do you mean Hurricane Tortilla?
This Category 5 hurricane was devastating not only due to its intensity, but a fail of flood-controlled systems and slow government response. On August 29th, 2005, fucking good one, Josh.
God, you can read the future.
The hurricane made landfall in Louisiana. The storm surge breached New Orleans levees and flooded the city. Tens of thousands of residents had not been evacuated. It didn't matter if you were from there. TV and radio audiences could feel the distress and panic in the air. Critics argued that the race and class were factors in the slow local and federal responses. Yeah, right, mate. The hurricane left an estimated 1,392 dead in its wake, making it one of the deadliest in US history. I'm just going to skip past some of them because otherwise we're going to be here all day.
Just want to say, I remember I was watching an episode of Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
And a couple of people that they moved over from New Orleans to there because of Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I really fancy, I really want to try that Louisiana cuisine.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah.
As long as it ain't too spicy.
Bomba.
What?
Bomba clad.
What do you mean? What, just because I don't like spicy food?
Bumba.
Right, I get it. Sometimes ketchup makes me sweat. Get fucked.
20, Nelson Mandela was released. In 1964, South African revolutionary leader Nelson Mandela was sentenced to life imprisonment. For years, he had fought against the apartheid, the system of racial segregation, and that privileged the country's white population and disenfranchised people of colour. Even from prison, he remained committed to the cause, communicating with political leaders and gaining worldwide attention. As civil unrest grew, Mandela was finally released from prison in 1990, 27 years after he was sentenced. His release was broadcast around the world. In a historic speech, he affirmed his commitment to peace, but also the ongoing struggle against the violence of apartheid. Just 4 years later, he would go on to become the country's first black president.
Yeah, I remember that.
Number 19 is the 2021 United States Capitol attack. On January 6, 2021, scenes of carnage in the US Capitol, Washington, D.C. shocked Americans watching the riot unfold on TV.
Oh, I remember that.
At a rally,
with that weird hat.
At a rally before the attack, ongoing President Donald Trump told supporters the election had been stolen and urged them to march the Capitol building. Debunked by courts, state audits and federal agencies, this claim was part of a campaign to overturn the election results and reinstall Trump as president. Within hours, 2,000 angry Trump supporters broke into the Capitol building, assaulting police and searching for lawmakers gathered to formalise Joe Biden's victory. Among them were members of far-right militia and neo-fascist groups, some of them armed. The insurrection failed, with lawmakers racing to safety before the mob reached them.
Yeah, because they were going to kill him, weren't they?
Yeah. 18 is the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. There are lots of eyes on Cape Canaveral, Florida, when Challenger finally launched on January 28, 1986. Due to technical issues and bad weather, the flight had been delayed multiple times. On launch day, CNN broadcast live nationwide coverage. NASA had organised for children to watch from schools to promote their teaching in space project, which had added teacher-turned-astronaut Krista...
Yeah, she was going to be like the first woman.
Yeah, McAuliffe or something like that to the crew. But viewers' hopes turned to horror as the shuttle disintegrated during its ascent, claiming the lives of all 7 crew members. The Challenger's final flight had lasted only 73 seconds.
Yeah.
Number 17 is the 1972 Summer Olympics. 1972 Summer Olympics Games in West Germany were the first to be held in the region since Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler used the event as a platform for propaganda in 1936. Sadly, the September Games, this is the one I was thinking of when I was reading earlier. Sadly, the September Games would become even more infamous, etching out their own bleak mark in history. After infiltrating the Olympic Village, 8 men from the Palestinian terrorist group, the Black September, killed 2 Israeli Olympic team members and took 9 more hostage. After 2 grueling days of negotiation, the hostage crisis was brought to a violent end. The rescue attempt was botched, claiming the lives of all hostages and a policeman. You know, I remember that because there's always that vivid picture, isn't there, of the bloke standing on the balcony with a balaclava on. Next one is the O.J. Simpson murder trial verdict.
Oh, yeah, because he died recently.
Yeah. It was the trial of the century, and the verdict left the public reeling after Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman were stabbed to death in June 1994. Brown's ex-husband, former footballer and actor O.J. Simpson, became the prime suspect. Before her death, Brown had said that Simpson had abused and threatened to kill her. Every aspect of the case was highly publicised, from the car chase that saw him arrested to the lengthy trial. The coverage hooked viewers and everyone had an opinion. On October 3rd, 1995, the jury rendered a verdict of not guilty for some. A verdict of not guilty. For some, it was a vindication. To others, a travesty of justice, in which the celebrity had gotten away with murder.
Kim Kardashian's dad and
the court thing, yeah.
He was the
what's the word? Lawyer, that's the one. Number 15 is the death of Osama bin Laden. In the wake of the September 11 attacks in 2001, US President George W. Bush announced the beginning of a war on terror. The first stage of this war was the US invasion of Afghanistan to hunt down Osama bin Laden and his terrorist group Al-Qaeda. This manhunt continued for almost a decade as bin Laden evaded capture. However, in 2011, the CIA tracked him to a compound in Pakistan in a helicopter raid codenamed Operation Neptune Spear on May 2nd. Bin Laden was killed. On May 2nd, bin Laden was killed. For those who vividly recalled the events of 9/11, President Obama's announcement that Al-Qaeda leader was dead was a landmark event.
Yeah. And also, if you haven't seen it, I recommend watching 0 Dark 30.
What a film.
Unbelievable.
What a film.
Because they called it a White Widow. Didn't
Yeah.
they? But, well, I don't know. I think it was based on a true person. I don't know how.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was, yeah.
But no, that was sick. And the famous call when Matey shot him, I can't remember his name. It was just Geronimo.
Geronimo, yeah.
It's like,
what was it like? Forgotten Country, Geronimo.
Yeah.
It was like, fucking hell.
Oh, it's giving me goosebumps just thinking about it.
The next one we have is the death of Diana, Princess of Wales. Although she was no longer Her Royal Highness, in 1997, having lost the title after her divorce from Prince Charles, Diana remained a popular figure for the Commonwealth.
She was the people's princess.
Mm-hmm. Her sudden death in a car accident as she fled paparazzi occurred in the early hours on August 31st. While the British public was still asleep, Diana's driver, who had been intoxicated at the time, and Egyptian producer Dodi Fayed, also died in the crash. When people in the UK woke and learned the news, the country was left shocked and in mourning. The death of the People's Princess was felt around the world.
And if you want to know more about it, we have actually done an episode on that.
We have.
That was an early episode.
Yeah, that was one of the very first few.
Yeah. So yeah, please give. Well, it's mainly we've done the
royal family.
Yeah, but we did mention about Princess Diana.
The next is the fall of the Berlin Wall. Mm-hmm. After World War II, the Allies split Germany into East and West. The Soviet Union controlled the East, while the US, UK, and France controlled the West. Eventually, East and West became separate republics, but the flight of East Germans to be more affluent, West prompted the construction of the Berlin Wall in 1961, dividing friends and families. The wall became a symbol of the Iron Curtain, separating Western Europe and the Soviet bloc. In the 80s, however, massive protests and waves of refugees leaving East Germany led to the government to relax rules for immigration. On the evening of November 9th, 1989, East Germans gathered at the wall rather than open fire. Border guards stood down, and the world watched as Germany became one again. Mm-hmm. A fun fact: my name is on the Berlin Wall.
Yes, it is, because we saw it at
Duxford.
Yeah. Bit mad.
Big up. I brought it down. Well, I'm born, but I brought it down.
Yeah, 6 years before you were born, but you know.
Number 10 is the assassination of JFK. Again, I'm not going to read its description because we have done an episode on that.
Yes, please.
So, please look that back. Oh. And again with the next one, which is the Chernobyl disaster.
Yes.
We've also done an episode on that. So please, go check that out.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is the attack on Pearl Harbor. It might be known as the Second World War, but for the first few years, the US waited out the conflict raging across Europe. That all changed on December 7th, 1941, when Japan launched a surprise strike on the US naval base in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Several ships were sunk and 188 aircraft destroyed. Over 2,000 sailors were killed. It was a devastating blow to the United States Pacific Fleet. The following day, US President Franklin D. Roosevelt delivered the famous Day of Infamy speech, and Congress declared war on Japan. The Allies' call for the US to join the war had been answered.
So really, Japan fucked up.
Oh yeah, big time. Well, they said that they portrayed that in the film, didn't they? When they said, "Oh, the attack," which showed the Japanese commander. It said that attack was a success. Congratulations, and he just went, "I fear all we've done is woken the sleeping giant."
Well, yeah, because let's be honest, at the time, the UK was getting their asses handed to them.
Yeah,
with like Dunkirk and stuff like that. We were getting
battered.
But we were saying that we needed America.
Yeah,
you know, and they were like, "Nah, we're not getting involved. Which, you know, they're looking after their own.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of get. But then, yeah, when Pearl Harbor, they just went, "Oh, you want to fight now? Do you?"
Yeah. All right, we'll bring a fucking fight, boys.
Yeah. So then, yeah, they. I'll never take anything away from the UK soldiers and fighters because fucking hell.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The US fucking saved us.
Oh yeah. The next one is Victory in Europe Day. After 6 bloody years of battle, the Second World War was finally over in Europe. Berlin had fallen to the Soviet Union's Red Army, and Nazi leader Adolf Hitler had taken his own life. Apparently. His successor, Admiral Karl Donitz, authorised Germany's surrender. On May 8th, 1945, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill announced victory over fascism, leading to parties on the streets and celebration.
Yeah.
Though the effects of the war were still being felt, the jubilation on that day is historic, and several countries still commemorate the day as a public holiday. Which I'm really surprised it isn't, you know, a public holiday.
Yeah, I know, because that is the day, like, normal men would have to go out.
No.
And women. It was mainly men, though, let's be honest. Like, went out to
die.
To die.
Yeah.
To get butchered.
Yeah.
So
I'm really, really surprised that is not a public
yeah,
holiday.
it's a bit of an injustice, I feel.
Yeah.
I know we have...
It's like you have your Memorial Day and that, but
Yeah.
you'd feel like if you're going to remember Memorial Day, you'd remember the day it ended. Do you know what I mean? Where they done their job.
Yeah, because that day, like Memorial Day, is mainly for World War One.
Yeah.
That's when World War One ended.
So why not World War Two?
Exactly.
Number 5 is the Cuban Missile Crisis, which I have also mentioned, I'm pretty sure, in the JFK episode.
Yes.
So again, go check that out. Nice little plug, this. Next one.
Yeah.
The next one is the Apollo 11 moon landing. It was really one giant leap for all mankind. Back in the 1960s, the idea of sending people to the moon still seemed like science fiction, but spurred on by the space race between the US and Soviet Union. NASA's Apollo lunar module Eagle touched down on the moon's surface on July 20th, 1969. Astronaut Neil Armstrong became the first person to walk on the moon, and Buzz Aldrin the second. An estimated 650 million Earthlings tuned in to witness the event on TV. Despite all our divisions in that moment, the world watched together in awe as we achieved something never thought possible.
If it did happen.
If it did. The next one is the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which is bollocks. They were trying to kill Godzilla.
All they done was wake him up.
While World War II ended in Europe on May 8th, 1945, the Allies continued to fight against Japan. On August 6th, after the Japanese refused to surrender, the United States dropped an atomic bomb known as Fat Man on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. 3 days later, they dropped a second, known as Little Boy, on Nagasaki. The bombs vaporized many in the blast radius and inflicted radiation burns and sickness on others, killing an estimated between 129,000 and 226,000 people. Mostly civilians.
Yeah.
Japan surrendered on August 15th. Initially, the horrors of the attacks were little reported, but slowly images and footage began to reveal the hellish consequences of an atomic warfare.
I'm pretty sure that to this day, there's still scorch marks.
Yeah.
Of where people were standing in the blast.
It wouldn't shock
radius.
me. It wouldn't shock me.
But yeah, and also, because if you want to know a bit more about that as well, like the leaders before, it also has the tragedy of the USS Indianapolis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is the largest shark attack in history.
I'm quite surprised that ain't on here, in all fairness.
Well, no, because it was so secret, no one knew. That's because they
oh yeah, the world didn't stand still with. They didn't know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't know about it at all. Like it was that secret because it was on a. It was on a like an aircraft carrier or usually they have like 4 destroyers, and they didn't have any because it was that secret. And then when there couldn't have been any Mayday or nothing like that, so we've left to fend themselves. That was on the way back.
Yeah, which is fucking mad.
Yeah, if you know Jaws, if you ever watch the film Jaws, Quint does his massive monologue of that, and that's still
one of the best.
It is my favourite monologue
yeah,
in film history.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Well, the next one, again, not going to mention because I've done an episode, and that's 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first one, which literally makes sense because the world literally did more or less fucking stand still, which is the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
Which obviously everyone knows. I'm not going to read it out. You all know what happened. We was all there.
But still get the after
Effect of it now, yeah. But what does it say here? Yeah, nonetheless, the news had people worldwide glued to their screens or running back to stock up on groceries, especially toilet paper. My fucking God, was that not annoying?
I just don't get why people did that.
It was that and pasta.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
Why? Seriously, why?
Well, you're going to barter with fucking bog roll and
how much fucking
spaghetti.
shit do you reckon you're going to take?
Yeah.
Fuck me, man.
That's mad.
But no, they were some... I didn't read them all out, like I said, because some I didn't know and some they were just too deep to really cover. So, but that was some of the moments that the world stood still. So, Ed.
Yes.
What are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to be talking about it's funny it happened because I didn't actually see a lot about it, but it was my sister who messaged me about it, and it's about a sighting of the Tasmanian tiger.
Ooh.
If you don't know, the Tasmanian tiger is a marsupial based in Tasmania, obviously, but it's got the name tiger. It's actually called a thylacine, and it's because it has stripes on its back.
Similar to...
on its hindquarters.
Yeah, mimicking a tiger.
Yeah, so that's how it got its name, and it was a predator. But they died out in the 1930s, I want to say. Well, no, that was when the last... I think the 1930s was the last...
recorded one?
No, captive one.
Oh, okay.
Last captive one that died.
So they could still be out there in the wild.
No, but that's what I mean. That's extinct.
Where's this one scene then?
That's
what I'm saying. So it could still be out there in the wild.
Oh, I thought you meant like it was just a captive one.
Oh, no. That's what I'm saying. It could still be out there in the wild.
Right.
No, it's like, well, some fucking can't see it then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're still loading at the minute.
Gotta love internet sometimes.
Oh no, it's a fucking piss take. But people are convinced pics show Tasmanian tiger alive 88 years after extinction. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
I'll put a picture up.
Yeah. People on the internet have been left scratching their heads over new images allegedly showed a Tasmanian tiger 88 years after the species went extinct. Reddit users were split by the new photographs, with some convinced they could show the real thing and others fearing it's a hoax. A man identified as Zach shared the images with American wildlife biologist Forrest Galante, claiming he and his dad encountered the beast at the side of a road while visiting Tasmania in April. Speaking with Forrest, during an interview on his YouTube channel, Zach said he and his father had at first believed it was a dog. Which they do look very dog-like. Before it opened its mouth and made a shrieking sound. That's the same with Tasmanian tigers. They could open their mouths like a snake.
Oh, really?
Not, not
to the
extent, but they could open their jaws incredibly wide. He claimed the encounter lasted around 30 seconds, during which he managed to take some photos before the animal bolted away. The biologist said the photos of the alleged Tasmanian tiger were pretty on the money, with one showing the animal's face illuminated by a flashlight. Zach claimed the encounter was like a standoff, and said, "We weren't sure what either one of us was going to do. It was like waiting for one or the other to attack." Following the interview, Forrest said, "I really want to believe him, but it's got to be a hoax. But then it's not the weirdest thing to happen. My gut tells me it's some kind of fake." The images were later shared to Reddit's High Strangeness subreddit, where users were split over whether the sighting was the real deal. One user said they were heartbroken as they could not believe the sighting. They wrote, "I'm heartbroken. I've been following potential thylacine sightings for years and truly believe a remnant population could be out there. But these photos are too good to be true. when you contrast it with Forrest's interview with a guy who was incredibly sketchy. Another user said they were convinced the Tasmanian tiger is still out there after a drive around the wilderness. They wrote, "It wasn't until I drove around Tasmania that the possibility of a surviving population seemed non-insane. The Tasmanian wilderness is vast and almost inaccessible. It takes up a fifth of the state, with 3 roads through it, and overlaps it with the Tasmanian tiger's original range." But one Tasmanian resident disagreed, writing, "I live in Tasmania. If the Thyla scene still existed, then someone would have hit it with a car by now and we would have a carcass." It only likes you. Just continue reading. Why is it being a dickhead?
Sorry about me, man.
Let's have a look. Others seem convinced these new photos could be real. One wrote, "It looks real to me, but unfortunately AI has made it so hard to know." Another said, "If those are authentic and not AI generated, then the tiger still exists." I've heard a lot of people say about the Tasmanian wilderness, it is treacherous.
Yeah.
Like, if it is the perfect breed, it's the perfect ground for something like that. If something don't want to be found, it can stay hidden. I get what matey from Tasmania says, like someone would have hit it by now, but as well, if they were so secluded, I'm not saying there's not like thousands of them out there.
No,
but just a small breeding population, enough to get by.
Mm-hmm.
It is very. I think it's plausible.
Yeah,
it is plausible. And
especially if it is so dense and everything, then like you said, if you can't go trekking through it, you're not going to find out, are you?
Yeah.
Unless one pops out and goes, "Hello, I'm here."
But I'm pretty sure, years and years ago, I thought I saw something about in the 1920s or 30s, there was a shipment of Tasmanian tigers were going to be brought into the USA.
Right.
And apparently the ship sunk. So there is a good possibility that it did, and because I think they were going to try and start like a breeding program, because like America's like what you call it, like helping like insemination and stuff like that. They've always been they were a lot further along than like Australia and Tasmania, so I think they was trying to ship them over to try and save them.
Yeah,
try and start a breeding program and insemination and to try and bring them back. But unfortunately, apparently the ship sank, and they went down.
Yeah,
but there is been sightings in America.
Oh, really?
Of thylacine, of Tasmanian tigers. I can't remember where. I apologise, but so could these have escaped somehow?
Yeah.
Somehow got to land? I don't know, or did it not sink at all?
And they just let them out there.
Yeah, or they was trying to keep it under wraps because it was like known that they were coming over, but then when they got them, and it was like, how do we protect these?
Yeah,
by saying that it didn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why they would want to do that, I don't know. Because when you think about it, the decline of Tasmanian tigers was all human error.
Yeah.
It was human error through deforestation and hunting and stuff like that. So that kind of makes sense. But at the same time, like, that's something if you was a scientist and you was like, I've helped bring back a near extinct species, you'd be ranting and raving about it.
Of course you would.
So, I don't know. I really do like to think that they are still out there.
Yeah. Let's just say, for argument's sake, it isn't out there, right? What do you reckon, if this person was genuine and said they did see someone, what else could you reckon it could be?
A maned wolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, because they're more Mexico. A dingo. Do they have them in Tasmania?
Fuck knows.
I know they're Australian, but if they're in Tasmania as well,
Yeah.
could be a dingo. Because
Could it just be a Tasmanian devil?
no. They look. Have you ever seen a Tasmanian devil?
Honey, Looney Tunes. That's the only one I've seen.
No, they look completely different, mate. They're like little not wombat. They look like little wombat bear things.
Yeah,
they're very cute. You must have seen them if you watch Crocodile Hunter.
I don't think I've ever seen an episode with that one on.
No,
I don't. I can't recall it at least.
No. Yeah, I think if you ever saw one, you'd know it. Because it's like because Tasmania is like a tiny little island next to Australia. It looks like a shark tooth.
Yeah. No, it just says the dingo was brought into mainland Australia by Aboriginal people, but never reached Tasmania.
No, so it's not a dingo. Unless people.
But domestic dogs were first brought into Australia and Tasmania by European settlers, and their release, both accidental and deliberate, into the wild has continued since. So it could just be a wild dog.
Yeah. But what they're saying is that how it's mouth open and the scream. But to be fair, when Bolter screamed,
I was gonna say when dogs want to scream, they can
fucking
fucking scream.
So I really want to believe it.
Yeah,
I really want to believe it because they're cool and I've always been quite fascinated in them. To be fair,
I just want to look what Tasmanian devil actually does look like because I just can't get out of my head the spinning fucker from Looney Tunes.
Fun fact: when my mum was pregnant with me, she used to call me Taz because apparently I'd just move about all the time, like the Tasmanian devil.
Come on, load.
They look nothing like Taz from Looney Tunes.
Come on. Internet's such a balance. Oh my god! I didn't expect them to look like that. Little fucking rat things.
Yeah.
They are just literally just a fat rat. Oh god.
Yeah.
My whole life's been a lie. I mean, I wasn't exactly.
I
wasn't picturing them to look like the Tasmanian devil, but I didn't think they'd look like that fucking thing. What the hell is that?
That's the Tasmanian.
I would genuinely think that's a ferret. If you didn't tell me that was a Tasmanian devil and one ran along, I would genuinely think that was a ferret.
You were. They're fatter than ferrets.
Call a fat ferret then. An overfed ferret.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, and as well, it's quite weird because how they're marsupials. Because like looking at them, because they're not. Yeah, because they're not a dog or a cat. Like and they. Because they're in it, because all marsupials they pouch their young, don't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, it had a pouch for its babies. But no.
And it's weird because like when you look at marsupials as well, there's no correlation with them. Do you know what I mean? You look at a capybara and a koala bear.
Capybara and
it's the largest marsupial, isn't it? Oh, it's the largest rodent, isn't it? Yeah, that's where I'm getting wrong.
Yeah, largest marsupials, a red kangaroo.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. A kangaroo, a koala, and a Tasmanian devil. Yeah. They look completely fucking different. Do you know what I mean?
A kangaroo.
A kangaroo.
A woo. But no, I do hope. Because they've been in reports in Australia as well. Thylacine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nah. Big up. I hope it is true. I really do hope. Because the picture, which we will put on, like Josh has probably already put it on the screen by now, it does look real.
Yeah.
But again, it's AI.
It's so advanced nowadays. There's so advanced.
An old country singer who I really like called Randy Travis, and he had a stroke a few years ago to where he can't speak. He's just released a song
through like AI. That's what I mean.
And you could not tell.
No, I've seen countless ones on like YouTube of like Elvis Presley singing like fucking Ed Sheeran songs and shit like that. Yeah. And it's so down to the T. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. It is terrifying.
So that's what I mean. It makes like, our fields a lot harder. Because people could AI a Bigfoot, they could AI an alien or a ghost or something like that. And if you don't know what you're looking for, it would look real.
It's like that one that we reacted to ages ago with the Bigfoot. I would have easily said that's AI if it didn't pick up the fucking tree.
Oh, yeah.
It just picked up and slammed it down. If it didn't do that, I would have said, nah, AI or fake.
Yeah.
But it lifted up a fucking tree, man.
They're strong boys.
Big strong boys.
Very strong boys. But no. So, yeah, tell us what you think. Do you feel like the Tasmanian Tiger is still about? Because I hope it is. I really do hope it is. Because I remember it's a black and white film of the last one, and it was just walking back forth in its cage, and it looked so sad.
Oh.
And it don't know it's the last of its kind.
No.
Ain't the last white rhino died recently?
Yeah,
as well?
I think so.
Or was it the last male or something?
I think, last male.
Yeah.
No. Yes. Sorry, yeah, last male.
The last male's white rhinos finally died. Well, I mean, they were already
Declared extinct, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because they obviously can't breed.
Well, no, it's when a species of animal is below 10 of actual species that they are classed extinct.
It's
So
a shame. Fucking sad.
Yeah. And like, what was it? We might have discussed it or react to it or watched it, or I might have watched some recording in that. And it's like a lot of rhinos now.
Yeah,
when
we
they're
have
born,
discussed it.
Yeah, they cut their horns off.
Because obviously, for those who don't know, that's what poachers are after.
They're after the
Mainly,
ivory.
they're after the fucking horns.
But what gets me is why did they have to kill them? If you want the ivory that bad, surely tranking them would be better.
They just don't give a fuck, do they?
No, it's just
Scumbags.
easier, I guess, cheaper.
Because that's what happened with that last male rhino, wasn't it? It had 4 guards around it at all times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'd love that job.
I'd be sick.
Just so I could go shoot some poachers. I'd love that. Thing is, they got the guns and everything, but I don't think they're actually allowed to shoot them.
No. Unless I think they got to, like...
They got to be fired upon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wouldn't mind that job. Going around looking after in critically endangered animals. Doing that, and if a poacher just pops his head up, oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Just shoot him in the fucking face.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. Fucking people, man. Piss me off.
Yep.
That's what I mean, like...
Another thing, right, random fact, well, not fact, that just baffles me about animals is, like, obviously, human race being the most advanced, we obviously know a lot of stuff, yeah? But then when you think of, like, for argument's sake, a blue whale, it has no idea that there's an animal like a lion.
Yeah.
And vice versa. They have no idea that they exist.
Nah.
I just find that so mind-boggling.
Unless animals all have a universal language and seagulls have come like...
It's like, you don't see the size of this fucker back here, boys.
But I know exactly what you mean.
I just find that so bizarre.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, your dogs
you can literally do it with pretty much majority of animals.
Yeah.
It's like our dogs. They have no idea in the fragment second.
I'd say the only animals, really, that can say they've seen most things are birds.
Birds, yeah. But it's like you said, like, our dogs, they have no idea, like, a fucking kangaroo exists.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'd love to see what Bolt will do. I mean, not a lot now, bless her heart. She's old now. It's quite sad. It's really sad to see her now, to be fair. But, yeah, she... In her younger days, she'd have been like, what the fuck? Now she'd just be like, no,
can't be asked.
Yeah, I need to lay down. Like, she's got grey around here, but I look into her eyes and she just looks tired now.
Oh, bless her.
Honestly, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
I love that dog. It's like a child. This is what I don't get if people... Like, I mean, it's like a child. I mean, I have my own son now. And to be fair... I just can't... How could anyone look at an animal's face and hurt him?
They're a scumbag.
Do you know what I mean?
That is literally the only description.
I don't know.
Scumbags.
I would say, is it just me? But how could any normal-minded person have a dog or a cat or whatever...
Or any animal.
And hurt them? Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's been times where Bolt's, like, scratched me or something.
They piss you off, but you wouldn't kick the living fuck out of them. As much as sometimes you'd want to.
Yeah.
The amount of times my dog's dumb head and I'm thinking, you get in my way one more time, I'm going to kick you so fucking hard.
Yeah,
but they do it again and you're like, you never do. You never do lash out at them.
I'll give you one more chance. Yeah. And then it turns into like 500 chances.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm warning you.
Yeah. But no, and to hurt, I honestly cannot understand it. Really, I can't.
Vile fucking scumbags. It's the only way to describe it.
Yeah, honestly, I think if you hurt animals,
You deserve to be
beaten.
Yeah. But no, I think that about wraps it up, don't you?
Yeah.
Right, so it just feels so good to be back, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But no, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Be sure to check out all of our podcasts on all our various podcast platforms. Be sure to check out all of our social media accounts. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Happy hunting.